Scene one, take one, roll one.
Yeah, we don't really do rolls of film, but don't make us draw a 2 on there somewhere.
What's up?
Drew, welcome to Black Diamond, bro. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Big and beautiful. Just trying to change the world a day at a time. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Just finished some records. You know what I mean? Working on some new music. A couple new projects coming out. Feels good to be back in the studio. You know what I mean? I like the vibe here. It's fun. It's chill.
When did you start making music?
So we gonna get into it then. Okay.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. So it's funny because I wanted to be a country singer, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you serious, bro?
I wanted to be a country singer.
Right.
And until in 2000, Slim Shady dropped his LP, and I was like, that guy hates his mom just as much as I hate mine. Like,
Damn, son.
yeah. So
The connection.
I was like, I'm gonna be a rapper then. I mean, but I couldn't talk about chainsaws and shit, so I had to figure it out. You know what I mean? And it's funny. People don't understand. Like, I love every type of music, but I swear, like, I listen to country, son. Like, and I know Sobe's got his own feelings about country, but like, I listen to everything, man. I love music, but it's funny because it started off with country. Phil Vassner, Another Day in Paradise was the first country song I ever heard. Like,
That's crazy,
legit.
I'd have never guessed, man.
I know, no one ever would have. I lived on Alto Street, bro. Like, of course not.
Would you say that that's your musical guilty pleasure?
Or
is there something deeper in the guilty pleasure bin when it comes to music?
You know what's funny is, like, so country for sure, but I feel like country's dope. Like, so Sobe cracks on the writing, right? But like, I rock with the writing. But like, I think my guilty pleasure is like punk. Like, mom, it wasn't a phase, mom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, but like punk rock, I just like, sometimes I like when Machine Gun Kelly went to punk, I was like,
that's interesting,
yes,
man.
like,
I just wouldn't see that from you. That's
yeah.
interesting.
but I mean, anytime you battle the GOAT, like, usually you're gonna have to leave. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he beat Eminem. I mean, he lost to Eminem, but I don't know a lot of people say he whooped him either. So,
you know, to be honest, against popular opinion, I liked Machine Gun Kelly's song better. Just like
catchier beat.
The vibe of the song was just like, ooh. And you know, Eminem spits bars. Every time he gets up there, he spits bars. But yo, the vibe of that Machine Gun Kelly song was just.
Well, it's because it was like, it's like when, like, people don't realize, like, when Meek Mill and Drake were going at it, right? Like, Meek Mill dropped his verse.
Yeah.
That song was hard.
I didn't even hear that.
But Drake dropped back to
I
back.
was under a rock or something.
There's not, like, nothing tops back to back.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Nail in the Coffin. What's the other one that Nas dropped against Jay-Z? Ether.
Oh.
Like, those are the only two other tracks that I really think. But so what happened was Meek Mill went the Ether route, and Drake went the Jay-Z route. Like, when Jay-Z dropped, because you got to look at it like, who was the bigger artist after that? Jay-Z, right? Anyways, we went down a rabbit hole. I apologize.
So we were like, where did your musical
My
where
guilty
did you start
pleasure?
in music? No, to bring it back to the original.
Yeah.
Where did you start in music? Like, so how did you start in hip hop?
So it's funny because my cousin Junior, shout out to my cousin Fernando, by the way. So I lived in Alto Street in Santa Fe. I lived on Alto Street, and it was like Alto Street and Don Juan. And we like had a double wide, and then my grandma, who was like 90, had like a house on the same lot, but we didn't have a fence between, so we shared a driveway.
Yeah.
So we'd always go from my crib to my grandma's crib because that's where all my cousins would be at. And like, we were on the porch one day, and like, we were kind of just like, you know, like, just vibing out. And I was like,
messing around, yeah.
And I was like, yo, it's MC Andy, ANDDY, because I B-fly, the fat guy from the 505. Like, that was the first rhyme I ever spit. I'll never forget it. Like, y'all just heard it live. Y'all heard it live right now. And my cousin was like, yo, and he was gassing me up. Like, I was trash, right? And he was like, yo, you need to get in the studio. And I was like, for real? Like, every Chicano cousin does, bro, you're going to be sick, Carnal. That's sick. And blah, blah. I was like, I mean, yeah, bro, I got something to say. You know what I mean? So I started on that porch in my grandma Bessie's, drinking Hypnotic and shit with my cousins at like the age of 10. and we went to the Boys and Girls Club, and that's where I met JP.
Hey, I remember the studio way back.
Way back.
Do they still do that shit?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they had a nice studio for the kids and everything.
Daniel G, John Paul Martinez, cool, like that's where I got. That's really where I got put on over there. It's crazy. This is a long time ago. R.I.P. to JP, by the way. Proud's the king. That's my guy.
When did you start getting into engineering and whatnot?
So
because that's how I met you. I mean,
yeah, we met at the studio. So it's funny because I had a guy. Me and Davis have the same guy. His name is Insanity. He bigged us up. Like, but I was always with this dude. Like he's still my big homie. He's my best friend, my brother. And I would always watch him behind the boards while I was rapping. Like I was recording for the label he had.
Yeah. And
then we went separate ways because I just like, I'll say it on record, I'm not gangster enough to be like rocking with them cats. You know what I mean? Like, and I always like when we separated. You know what I mean? It wasn't my choice. I was just not thug enough. I was like, man, well, I just got to mix my own music. I saw him using it. We were on the Nuendo. So if you don't know what Nuendo is, you know what I mean? And I remember I asked Davis to borrow his setup, and he had like a mic with pantyhose on a hanger, and then like Nuendo, and like I took it to the crib, and like he let me use it, and I was recording, and I started mixing there, and then I can't remember when Rancho Digital came into play.
Yeah.
But I met Edgar one time or another.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Edgar Rivera. He was like, yo, I go to, because I didn't have bread to record at Stepbridge.
Yeah.
Stepbridge Studios in Santa Fe. Shout out to them. They're amazing. And he's like, well, I got another studio downtown. And like, I was like, what? And I feel like when I walked in that studio, I was like, yo.
But that one was a nice one. The vibe in that bitch.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like the vibe in Rancho Digital was fire. And so I was recording there, and then I'm like, yo, like I can do this. And so he kind of took me under his wing. I ran some sessions, and then like you saw, like I was a key holder.
Yeah,
like
that's when I first started recording.
Like Edgar started transferring me to you, and I was nice then. You know what I mean? And obviously,
Edgar had all the experience in the world, but you were just more in tune with hip hop.
Well, I had the hip hop ear.
You were more in tune with hip hop,
and he taught me how to use the plugins. He taught me how to use that great 28 board. Like I remember the vibes, man, and we had everybody through there. You know what I mean? We had Crown Royalty. We had. So Kinged Up ENT.
I remember that's how you, because I was thinking, how did you used to punch in effects and punch in like the beat drops and shit live? It's because of the board, huh?
Yeah.
I remember that shit now.
Yeah. I was just all into automation, and that board would be going crazy. Yep. But man, we had everybody through that studio. That's where I met Sovian Eloquent. That's where I met Eric. That was
the first place I met Cloud at.
Yeah. So it's funny. One of my ex-girlfriends, Marissa, she was like, yo, I have a friend who raps. And she's like, I want you to meet him. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Like this little skinny kid came in, and he's like, yo, I'm Alex Cloud. And like I heard him rap, and I'm like, son, you're amazing. You're great. And I still think it to this day. He's surpassed a lot of people's opinions about him, and I'm proud of him. You know what I mean? But yeah, we had Sovian Eloquent, Alex Cloud, Eric Tharp, Tommy Guns, The Truth. Who else do we have? Cash, Young Gims.
Yeah.
Man, there's a bunch of people in there, and it was like this. We like created this. It was like an entire experience. It was like an entire music scene, bro. It was wild, and we did it in that studio. Like there was super gangster cats. There was like super heartfelt cats. Like Perfect was through there. Remember Perfect? Like
all
these cats, bro. Like, and it was an incredible experience for sure. I wish that I would have been the guy I am now during that time, because I was just trying to be everything. And I people grow up, right? You live, you learn. But I think that's my biggest regret, is just not knowing who I was yet. But you know what I mean? We here now. Black Diamond, we in here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Rancho Digital, everybody that we was pushing the Kinged Up Entertainment movement and the Crown Royalty movement. Edgar Rivera for giving me the shot. Yeah, it's good times.
I'm sure your music has changed over time. How would you describe your music now?
So, yeah, wow. So we just,
you know what? First, describe where you came from, and then where you are now.
Definitely.
All right, for sure. So, Alto Street raised, right? When I was born in Escondido, California. A lot of people don't know that, because I've been in Santa Fe since I was a baby. But in when I was right around 2, my mom got sent to prison. So she was like one of the biggest meth dealers on the West Coast. So she got sent to federal prison. And so my dad took me and my 2 sisters to Santa Fe because that's where his parents were. And they raised us there. And we bought a double wide on Alto Street. I mean, right next to Don Juan. And I was raised there. You know, I was pretty badly beaten. You know what I mean? My ass it's hard to say abused, right? Because people have hard lives. But me and my mom's had a really tough relationship. And so I just wanted to get out as soon as I could. And so I was in and out from the age of 11, you know? And that's why my biggest regrets are always like, I didn't know who I wanted to be then. Because I had like my gangster cousins or like gangsters that I thought were cool and like band geeks that I thought were cool. Like I didn't know who I wanted to be. And so I'm glad that I figured it out. But to touch on the second question is like, that's where I come from and where I'm at now is just speaking all those experiences into it. You know what I mean? Like the things that I experienced because of how lost I was changed me forever. I'll never be the same person, right? But I do know that my wants and my ambitions are completely different. We're all guilty of it, but I truly daily try to make sure that I'm never trying to impress anybody but me. That's scary for people, especially young people. Like, yo, I want to impress this OG. Like, let me go do something crazy. I want to impress this girl. Let me go do something stupid. Like that was my biggest mistake. It'll always be my mistake. I'll always have to live with those things. But I just, my message now is just like speaking those experiences into light and like saying, yo, like life is what we make it. Like my cards were shitty when I was dealt them, bro. Like
True.
You know what I mean? Like rest in peace to my father. He passed away a couple of years ago. My sister passed away like 9 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And it was drugs and alcohol that took them. And then my mom's is doing bad. We don't talk. My other sister, we don't talk. You know what I mean? And it's kind of always been like that. It's just because I was like the black sheep. And music has always been my getaway. It's always been like the one place that I could just be
you.
Yeah, fearless. Like, and that's what's weird is like I didn't realize that at the time when I was like, even when I was at the studio in Santa Fe, like I didn't realize at the time, like, yo, you really have a movement. Like you worried about bitches and money and guns and drugs and shit. Like you could really be doing something with these, you know, utensils that you have at your fingertips. And I took that for granted. You know what I mean? And so now when I make music, like I make sure that my words count. I make sure that I don't say something that I'm not actually feeling, that I'm not actually going to be about. You know what I mean? Like you don't catch me talking about killing motherfuckers and selling drugs and nah, I keep it on me, but that's because my life is my life, right? I'm not that person. Like I want to uplift my people.
I feel like it shows the experiences that you've gone through because some people might try that shit, but if you haven't lived it, you know, it's not going to come out real on record.
Yeah, like I don't think people understand, bro. Like the shit you hear in music, it's like cool to listen to. It's cool to pretend to be. Like I've seen some shit. You know what I mean? And I'm not built for that. People don't understand it until it's too late. And then you got to deal with that. And so it's like you make sure that you're not triggered again. You make sure that you don't put yourself in circumstances that are gonna test your character. Like not your muscle and your strength and your balls, your character. Like I'm not. That's just not the route to go. And I didn't know that at a young age. So now that I do, you know what I mean? I just try to move the best that I can and be a role model for like my son, my daughter that I don't get to see. I know that my life is gonna be looked at and judged, and I want to make sure that I make up for it. You know what I mean? That's my goal. We just got into it, right? Like we just like the whole room. You know what I mean? Like we got into this.
So, what's your favorite type of? No, I'm just kidding. Speaking on kind of like past experiences and everything that's been happening, especially nowadays with like COVID, do you think that COVID has had an impact on your art in any way?
So COVID changed my life. And let me explain why. So 2 years ago, as of Monday, my son was exiting the hospital with us. But the month prior to him exiting, he was on life support on a ventilator. He was 1.5. He almost died. And it was probably the scariest moment of our lives, right? And he was on life support at 1.5 years. That the statistics of that happening and them coming back is like,
that's got to be horrifying.
It's pretty. Well, so she, like, my wife is here. You guys can't see her, but she tears up from this shit because I mean, they told us your kid's doing bad. You need to leave the room. And we were like, it's this moment of utter shock. Like we had no power to protect the one human that we were told to protect, right? And so it was scary, but to fast forward 2 years or a year later, right? Last year, his doctor, who's my friend now, who intubated, yeah. He's like, yo, we don't know what this is, but we know it's respiratory. I don't think Elijah can afford to catch it. Say less. We didn't leave the house. I told my boss, yo, I got to figure this out. Lisa, my lady, started working from home. Like it was lockdown. And we moved that way not until we moved that way. People who came over were screened. We asked them. They told us, yo, if you're around people, we can't have you at the crib. Like, I'm sorry. And you know, somehow in November, I got COVID. Lisa got COVID. My wife got COVID. And she lost a sense of smell. That was it. That was her symptom. I could barely stand up from being dizzy. My fever, the highest was like 104.7.
Damn.
In 12 days, I lost 40 pounds. I was coughing up blood. And so let's say this though. It was bad for sure. It sucked, right? My anxiety made me think I was dying every day. I set alarms during the night so I wouldn't die in my sleep. For 12 days, I thought I was dying. It was terrifying. And I remember when I got better, I had this entire new outlook on life. Son, I'm not taking this shit for granted. I started working out, started eating right. Like I was almost 400 pounds when I got COVID. And I was down to 350 when I got better, right? It was insane. And I started making sure I was helping around the house and spending more time with my son and excelling at work and putting more passion into my music because that shit scared the shit out of me. I've seen motherfuckers get shot. I've been in I was never in my life that scared until November. Like, it scared the shit out of me. I'm like, nah, man, I do care if I'm alive. I got shit I couldn't leave my son. I couldn't leave my lady. I couldn't leave no. And so COVID changed my fucking life. Changed my life, bro. Like it.
Damn.
And we here now, right? You know what I mean? And it's so we got through it and we're getting through it. But I would say to answer the question, it impacted me and my music and everything that I do on a daily basis, for sure. Yeah.
I almost hear a new kind of energy because we had you right in before. Yeah. Right before. And honestly, like now I can feel the energy that you're putting into it. Like it's different. I can't explain it, but it's different. I think that I've gone through a lot of traumatic shit in my life, partially because I was a subject of whatever happened when I was a kid, partially because I was a dumb fuck when I was a young adult, thinking I can hang out with people that I had no business being around. And then this, you know what I mean? And those things will stick with me. Like the anxiety from that shit will stick with me. And I try to move better. You know what I mean?
So was there a lot of anxiety and whatnot towards when you got COVID towards your son getting it and what? So like, because he's living in the house, right?
Yeah, 100%. So this is the fucked up part, right? Is I started feeling sick on a Friday. I took my temperature. I had a fever, so we have a 2-story crib. So I went upstairs. Lisa and my little man were downstairs. And we turned off the air, like we didn't want shit to circulate in the crib. And I woke up the next morning, I went and got tested, and I got a blood test. They're like, yo, this is accurate. They said I was negative, right?
Really?
Yeah. So watch this. So they say I was negative. I told her, I was like, yo, I feel like I have this shit. She's like, no, you're paranoid. My boys was telling me I was paranoid. My boss was telling me I was paranoid. I'm like, yo, I'm not. My fever's not fucking breaking. Like something's wrong. Like I'm never sick. I'm sick like once a year, my guy. And this year it was with fucking COVID. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so a couple of days later, so Saturday I get a negative test. I'm back with the kid and my wife. Sunday, Lisa goes to work. I'm chilling with the son all day, watching football, playing games. Still hurting though. I feel weird. I feel woozy. Monday comes around. I call the boss. Yo, my fever hasn't broken. He's like, you good? You have a man cold. Just wear it off. You don't come in. Tuesday night, Lisa can't smell anything. She shoved her face in a Tupperware of green chili. She goes, nope, can't smell it.
Damn.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Wednesday went by. Thursday we get tested.
There it is.
4 days later we get our results for positive. Well, my son was kissing and hugging on my wife and me the whole time. He didn't show a single symptom.
That's
Still
a
hasn't.
blessing and a half, bro.
It blew our minds. We were we were so worried about him and my fucking ass.
I remember I wasn't even worried about you. I mean, sorry,
No.
not like I don't care. But,
That's the first.
I just assumed, you're grown. You're gonna be able to take care of yourself. But yeah, no. When I heard you had COVID, I worried a lot.
I want to go on record and say when I told Sylvia I had COVID, he said, "Well, how's Elijah?" He didn't even say, "How you doing, bro?" He was like, "Yo, how's Elijah?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, fuck you." But he's good. Nah, he's a tyrant, man. And how many weeks ago was it that he had his cold? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? So my son got an ear infection. This is just a side story update. And so very, very commonly those turn into colds. And he got a cold that was pretty bad, and he was able to beat it without going to the hospital for one of the first times in his life.
Awesome.
So it was a big deal for us.
Getting stronger.
Big win. Yo, but I caught the cold he caught. I forgot I was sick. Compared to COVID, it was like a warm summer night on the beach, son.
Hey,
I was like,
you, dog.
I can take this. This is fine. Like, I was forgetting I was sick the whole time.
Go golfing and shit.
I'm telling you, B. I'm telling you. Anyways, yeah, we good.
Outside of music and whenever you're on your hustle, what are things that you do that you enjoy? You mentioned that you like watching football and playing games.
Yeah, so I'm a football head, Chicago Bears fan. It's hard for me. You know what I mean? College football, Oregon Beavers, you know what I mean? Oregon State. So let's make that clear, right? It's not Oregon Ducks, it's Oregon State Beavers. And then I'm a huge golfer. People don't know that about me. I'm a golf. Oh boy, I love to golf. My son loves to golf. Lisa likes to go because she gets to drink while I golf. It's all around a family gathering. Sometimes I break clubs. Sometimes I break my best records and beat them. So, we're getting there. And then, yeah, man, just passionate about people too. I love people. Love to help.
Man, I can't play golf, bro. I tried that one time. I almost killed your homeboy.
When?
You remember that shit? Bro, your homeboy is behind me and I hit him with the ball. Don't ask me how the fuck that happened.
We were in Cruces, huh?
Yeah.
Who were we with? It was me,
Cinna, I think.
And Cinna.
Yeah.
Yo, but Cinna isn't any better.
This motherfucker,
Cinna isn't any better.
Bro, he's behind me and he's having to dodge the ball. Like,
yo, shout out to Cinna, dog. Shout out to Light Green Music one time.
Hey.
One time. That's what's up. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. You want to shout anyone out, man? Like anyone that you've been rocking with?
So I'm going to do this real quick, right? I'll be watching interviews with people, like people from around, and I'm like, but they ain't say my fucking name one time. Like, I know these people. So I'm gonna keep my energy the same though that I want it to be, right? So I'm gonna shout out everybody, dog, from Sovi, Eloquent, Eric Tharp, Alex Cloud, Young Gims, Cash. We're gonna shout out Ben Davis. Or Spiffy Davis, my apologies.
Davey Wavy.
Yeah, we're going to shout out DJ Remains. That's my big homie. We're going to shout out Angel of Insanity. We're going to shout out Cinna, Meezy, Stacks, Red, Tony Mo, Akeem. If y'all ain't heard of Akeem, y'all got to get with it. We're going to shout out Palomora and the entire Palomora Productions team.
Dope.
I mean, who else we got? Entourage, Josh, and Lone Wolf. Son, 2-1 graphics. Yo, I love everybody. I don't know how people don't like me sometimes. I'm like, yo, I know I was an idiot when I was a kid, but I really want y'all to fucking survive and do well now. Everybody that's anybody, Mikey, J-Bugs, all that Coldwater ENT. I mean, shout out to Blue. Shout out to David the Scholar. Blue, David the Scholar, uneducated scholar. That's my little man. That's my bro. That's my little brother. And I love him. I just want to make sure I say that. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anybody? I feel like I might be forgetting somebody, but I don't mean to forget.
Bro, you just went through so many names. I can't even remember.
I know I said a lot. I'm like, if you an artist anywhere from where we from, I love you. I support you. I fuck with you. If you hate me, I want you to hate me successfully. So I just want that on the record. I want zero. I just want y'all to succeed. That's it. And now a sponsored break.
All right. So what are your upcoming projects? What do those look like?
Oh, we gonna talk about it. Cool.
Hey.
So you guys can get the exclusive. It's the first time I'm gonna let this out. So drop this ASAP. Where we're dropping the collaborations album. It's gonna be a bunch of new music. I got a bunch of features on there. Sovi's one of them. Eloquence one of them. DJ Sana. We got a bunch of people on there. And J Bugs is on there. There's gonna be a bunch of people. We're gonna drop that collabs. I'm trying to get it on Apple Music and all that stuff. Some of the beats are hard to get right now because of like I've had them for so long. David the Scholar, Jay Alderice is gonna be on there too. We're dropping the collaboration album in because I'm dropping an album, like my album, in as I've done the last couple years, and its album is named Persistence. It's gonna be amazing. Sovi is like literally the main engineer on it, other than myself. It's gonna be recorded at Black Diamond Studio. Don't get it fucked up or twisted.
Hey.
And we in there like swimwear, you know what I mean?
Good to have you come through though. Every time you come by, we drop some nice shit, bro. It's a good session.
I just want to end it by saying I appreciate you guys, what you guys are doing for these artists. I appreciate the skills you guys bring to the table. You guys are fire. Shout out to Camera, by the way. I keep forgetting all these people. I feel so bad. But I want to end it by saying, y'all, just be great to each other. I mean, we're in a time of division right now. Unity is always and will always be the only way to succeed. You know what I mean? Like I truly feel that. I truly feel like the biggest things were built by unity. I feel like the biggest things were accomplished in the world by uniting. Like I hate to see the state of our world and to understand that this is our doing. I mean, I'm guilty just as everybody else. Just love each other, man. Just love each other. That's it. That's my message. I hope everybody grasps onto it and moves it and lives it every day. Life is short, bro. You don't know when this shit's going to end, so make sure that you do it right while you're here. You know what I mean? But I love y'all. Drww Christopher once again. I'm going to holler at you. Yeah.
Yo, and the congregation said amen.
Amen, baby.
Amen.
Good shit. Good shit.